Good morning. If you'd like to stand, we'll sing our call to worship. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of. It's love. When I start my day with love, when I start my day with love, that's what I get more of. It's love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. I start my day with peace. When I start my day with peace, I feel that sweet release of peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace, peace. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. I start my day with joy. When I start my day with joy, everything I do is infused with joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. Joy, joy, joy. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of. It's love. I start my day with love. When I start my day with love, that's what I get more of. It's love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love,
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Traverse City. My name is Michael Robold, and I'm delighted to be the worship assistant today on a beautiful sunny day, and couldn't help but admire this beautiful work of art that has been here for quite some time, but it just reflects our connection with nature and how happy we all are to be living in a wonderful, beautiful place. And so for anyone who might be joining us on YouTube, if you are members of Unity of Traverse City and are still waiting to come back, you're invited to come back. The weather has turned and nothing but sunny days and warm weather. The list of announcements is overwhelming, so I'm fortunate enough to have several people help me out. We'll start with Meg.
Good morning. So I am here to announce and introduce Elliot, who is new to us here. She's joined the music team. She is a friend and coworker of mine, and I'm just so glad to bring her here and share her musical talents with us. So thank you, Elliot.
Thanks, Meg. Well, today is Beach Cleanup Day, and I look out and see a number of people wearing our Unity t-shirts. You want to stand up, Ernie? Well, we already have at least 15 people signed up to volunteer to clean up the beach. I think it's, 5,000 miles? We're just going to do a few miles here in Traverse City. The cleanup takes place from 1 to 3 at the volleyball beach near downtown. So stop by the registration space to the east of the volleyball court to sign a waiver, which I'm not sure if that's just eliminating liability if you pick up some piece of glass or whatever. You just have to be very careful as to what might be the cleanup items that you're picking up. And you're encouraged also to bring any cleanup supplies, although some will be supplied. And thank you, Ernie, and those who are also wearing the t-shirt. You're certainly encouraged to wear our Unity t-shirt to this event. A reminder of a couple of memorial services, one coming up next Saturday, that's the 2nd of May at 11 for June Neal. That'll be followed by a luncheon, and the Saturday following, which is the 9th, will be a service for Cindy Nicklin at 12, also followed by a luncheon. Sort of connected to that is World Labyrinth Day, which we'll be celebrating at 2 on next Saturday, right after June's memorial service. And it's right out here, the Labyrinth. Lori, do you want to come up and talk about the Pit Spitters?
So how many of you have been to a Pit Spitters game? Oh, a lot of you. And you know it's fun, 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 fun. So if we can get 10 people to come, we get tickets for $14. And then I'm signing us up early because I want to make sure that we can all sit in the same area. So there's a sign-up sheet out in the hallway, and you need to pay either Bob or me $14 for your ticket. It's cash only, and we can't give refunds, unfortunately, so you'd have to sell your ticket to someone else if you can't make it. But anyway, it's going to be a great time, so I hope you'll come. The Pit Spitters, when? No, July 30th, Thursday the 30th. And it's on Thursdays, it's hot dogs for $2, Pepsis for $2, beer for $3. So it's good.
Thanks, Lori. All right. Ann Reed has an announcement regarding the board.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ann Reed. I'm the treasurer of the board, and I'm here to announce today that we have one member who has resigned, Vicki Green. She's moved to Higgins Lake, which is, as you know, kind of far away. So she was not feeling as connected, nor did she feel she could fulfill her board responsibilities. So that means we have an opening, and we also have someone joining us, Judy Grimes, who will step in and become a board member. But if someone else also wants to become a board member, which our bylaws do allow, you can do this for just the 9 months that Vicki is gone. And it's a great way to try it out. We're a good group. It's me, Marianne, and Molly. Who else would you want to be with? But no, really, we get a lot done. It's fun. It does require a commitment. We generally meet once a month on Sunday after church, and that usually lasts for a couple of hours. But again, we are able to accomplish quite a bit in that period of time. So just know that's what's going on, and I'm done, I think.
Thanks, Ann. And I'm going to turn it over to Jill again, or I'm sorry, Lori again. But Jill is coming up with Lori. Is that correct? Yes. All right. I don't have much to do today. Pass this back and forth.
Thank you. We've been asked to talk a little bit about the C Committee. And the C Committee is if you hear it, it's an acronym for the Spiritual Enrichment and Education Committee. Prior to COVID, and when we had a minister here full-time, it was just the Education Committee, but the responsibilities of that committee have expanded. since then to kind of fill in some things that the minister was doing. Let me just read here quickly the mission and scope. The purpose is to encourage the spiritual growth and development of participants in accordance with Unity principles and values. The committee will do this by providing opportunities and activities which can assist participants in achieving greater spiritual understanding, wisdom, and discernment. On this committee currently, and it's usually a one-year commitment, like many things in this church. On the committee right now are Lori Colburn, myself, I'm Jill Zofia, Christine Kelly, yes, Lisa Dawson, who I don't see today, and Bob White. Bob is the representative from the board, and there's always a liaison person because we put together a lot of activities and things like that. So there's a calendar on the website. There's generally sign-up sheets in the hallway if you want to get involved in any activities. And it's our goal to have at least monthly events, but I think we've been doing pretty good with that. And some have a fee. We try to get many of them that don't so that anyone can participate. And if you have skills to offer or a class that you're interested in presenting, come see the C Committee because that's where we get a lot of our resources just from our community. And Lori has things to share.
So things like the Pit Spitters game, that's part of this committee. The deep discussion group, the book discussion groups. I did a workshop last year on the Sedona method and plan to do a workshop on forgiveness. So things like that. Julie's meditations and past life readings are all part of the group. So if you have an event or something that you want to see happen or you could provide, let us know.
We could go on and on. We'll stop.
Okay, thanks. All right. All right. I should just stand up here for the whole time. So I think the other committee that I'm talking about is the fellowship committee, well, the volunteers. So the volunteers that I coordinate are the ushers and greeters, the coordinator of the service who does things behind the scenes that you guys might not know, turning on the candles, turning the lights on, turning them off, doing that kind of thing, temperature, and then the ushers and greeters that you see in the front, and so some of those people, if you want to stand or not, you can. But Ollie, he's helped out a lot. Ollie Hubble, and thank you. Thanks, Ollie. We love seeing young people join in. And Mary Ann's an usher all the time. And if I don't say your name, sorry, there's just so many. But then the fellowship committee, we're wearing these aprons right now. We're the ones who do the coffee and the wash the dishes and stuff. So Brooke is wearing an apron and Kathy's wearing an apron. And yeah. And Kate Baird didn't want to come up, but she does this, and there was one other I'm missing it right now. Do you want to come up? No, that's fine. So anyway, so the volunteers do a lot, and so it's fun because you get to know people and you feel more a part of the church and more a part of a tribe and a community. So it's a wonderful way. And I know for me, if I don't have a volunteer thing I'm doing that day, it's really easy to just lay in bed all morning. So that's why I like doing that. So anything else, or Molly, anything else?
I have per turn.
Okay.
So we're making these announcements in case any of this appeals to newcomers or those that have been here for a while, because these are all ways of serving at Unity. The other thing that I'm asked to talk about today is the prayer chaplain program, and I really think that prayer is the cornerstone of Unity, and prayer chaplains are trained to respond and interact prayerfully within the church community. Current prayer chaplains are Mary Ann Cacholia, myself, and Bob. And we are looking to expand that program. This path is one that provides opportunities for you to more deeply discover, claim, and express the divine qualities of compassion. One that nurtures and nourishes your desire to be in sacred service to both your spiritual family and our world. Marianne, Bob, either of you want to say something? Marianne.
Just that I've been doing this like for 12 years now, and it's just, when I first came into it, it was really, I was drawn to it as a way to serve, and it's just been such a blessing to my own spiritual growth and to be able to give to the community in this way. We make our monthly calls to people who want to receive prayer, and it's just a wonderful way to be part of the spiritual community. So, thanks.
Well, I guess we're going to have the board come up. Last announcement.
There really is a service today. Today is, well, I should introduce all of us. You've met Mary Ann, I'm Ann, this is Molly. We're the Three Stooges.
I think the Three Musketeers.
Musketeers, okay, we're Three Musketeers. I couldn't think of that word. Anyway, we're up here today to recognize all of the volunteers, which you've been hearing from, especially the last 2 Sundays with the presentations from the various teams and committees. And we titled that, You Are the Church, because you are the church, all the volunteers. We could not make this happen without all of the help and enthusiasm and just skills that people bring on a volunteer basis. So we want to offer you a big, big thank you. We have food for you in the back when you're done with the service. That will happen, I promise, in a few minutes. And I think with that, Marianne, you want to make the big announcement?
Sure. This seems a little repetitive, and I'm going to start. So we know volunteers are the heart of our spiritual center. And this year, one person stood out for their exceptional dedication. Not only does she schedule and coordinate our service teams, she is active member in filling those usher greeter spots when we need help in the kitchen or during fellowship. She's on the C committee. She's plans and facilitates workshops and special events, movie nights, the Sedona workshop, and many other things that she's very involved in. She co-facilitates a deepening discussion group each month, organizes grounds cleanup, and can be seen spending endless hours, many days a week, planting and flowers, pulling weeds, and truly making our grounds look beautiful. She was here last Sunday after the board meeting. After 3 o'clock, I saw her still working here. So we are deeply grateful for her commitment of time, energy, and caring, and are honored to present this year's Volunteer of the Year Award to Lori Colburn.
So I want to say real quick before I hand it over to Lori that so we have some flowers for her, and then we also have a $100 gift card for her from all of the church. So thank you guys for all of your generosity.
Thank you. You know, I was standing up here just a minute ago and going, you guys are all so beautiful. You know, it's so wonderful to be a part of such a loving, wonderful community where people just join in and share all the times. And I forgot to mention Leslie and Dave and Carolyn, you know, and if I missed someone else who ushers or does stuff, you know, it's like, sorry, there's, but anyway, thank you so much.
Okay. And could we have Theo and Ollie come up? Theo and Ollie? We have a little gift for all the rest of you too. It isn't much, but it's a little token of our appreciation. It's these stickers. These are stickers. There's 2 stickers on a thing. It's Unity Spiritual Center of Traverse City. And Ollie and Theo are going to walk around and make sure that everybody gets one of these, okay? So just a little thank you to all the rest of you for all that you do for us. Thank you. Oh,
Let's eat. I think we'll actually have a service now. Well, as the gifts are being passed out, let's affirm together our statement of unity. What? All right, thank you. And together, let's affirm this. Attuned to divine life, I heal and live fully. So it is. As we allow the words of that song to take us to that place within each of us where we connect more fully, perhaps, with that which is available to all people throughout the world. God makes no distinction between cultures, colors, genders, age, belief systems. In essence, we are all one. So as you perhaps gently close the eyes and focus your gaze inward, tuning in to what guidance you might receive. And certainly it's all about opening up, being receptive, and having no sense of any limitation. each of us unique, an essence, a piece of the creation everywhere present. Think for a moment the blessings of your body, regardless of age, regardless of any circumstances which have rendered any part of your physical body less than what it once was. We have so much to be grateful for. Eyes that see, ears that hear, a nose that detects a great variety of wondrous odors, the ability to speak our truth, bodily parts, as important as they are just a part of us. And our mind is so full of potential. And how easy it is to sometimes set a limitation on ourselves. And so might we right now take some time in the silence to recognize that that power is within each and every one of us to transform our life from this day forward. If we simply set aside old beliefs, beliefs that somehow have limited us in our belief in ourself, in a trust in ourself. We are created for greatness. We are created by God. And within each of us is the essence of God, the Christ, life and spirit. In the silence, we open up to not only that still small voice, but the belief that we are unlimited. Whatever our individual needs, our collective needs, our deepest desires and wishes for planetary peace and wellness. We simply need to believe, to trust, and to affirm that all is in divine order. And so it is. Amen.
The dead of winter is over and gone, and a brand new day is finally done. The bitter cold and the icy gloom are now tiny buds about to bloom. They will rise in you. You are my light, you are my light, you are my joy, you are my joy, you are my strength. I rise in you. I rise. You are my hope, my hope. You are my love, my love. You are my peace, my peace. I rise in you. Let everything upon this earth participate in this rebirth and be born anew. Let every heart be lifted higher. May every soul now be inspired to rise in you. You are my light, you are my joy, my joy. You are my strength, my strength. I rise in you. You are my hope, my hope. You are my love, you are my love. You are my peace, my peace. I rise in you. You are the force that lifts the eagle's wings. You are the power that makes my heart sing. You are the power turns an acorn to a tree. You are the power working miracles in me. Yeah, I rise. I rise. I rise. I rise. You are my light, my light. My joy, my joy. You are my strength, my strength. I rise in you. Are my hope, my hope. You are my love, my love. You are my peace, my peace. I rise in you. You are my light, my light. You are my joy, my joy. You are my strength, my strength. I rise in you. You are my hope, my hope. You are my love, you are my love. You are my peace. I rise in you.
Yes. Good morning.
Looking around, I don't see too many faces I don't recognize, but say someone is here. My name is Bob White. I am thrilled to be here with all of you today. And believe it or not, 1/3 of 2026 is in our rearview mirror as of today. 1/3 of the year is gone. I find that extremely hard to believe. But we began the year focusing on what we wanted our story, what we wanted chapter 2026 of our life to be in our book of life. What do we want to accomplish? What do we want to become? And in December, we can look back and see how we did. After that, we moved into a 7-week series of pre-Lent and Lenten services, and we considered moving from our will to God's will. And cleaning up some inner clutter that we could get rid of. And looking at Lent as a journey of release and renewal. Then we moved into the Easter story. We looked at rising within on Easter Sunday. And after that, we talked about and looked at the life that cannot die. That through the Christ presence in our spirits, we are eternal beings that will move on in some way from this form at some time. The message of Easter is not seasonal. Easter Sunday comes one time a year, but the resurrection and the transformation of ourselves can go on the entire year. Think about that for a second. Jesus was transformed on Easter Sunday. He started that week as Jesus of Nazareth, a man who went around sharing his gospel, sharing his truth. And Jesus of Nazareth was put to death. But then, on Easter Sunday, Jesus rose. He was no longer Jesus of Nazareth. At that point, he had transformed into Jesus the Christ. And that type of transformation is available to us in a number of ways. It belongs with us every day. That Tuesday morning when the alarm goes off and you don't want to get up, it's there. It belongs in every conversation, every difficult conversation you need to have that don't think that you can do. That message of Easter Sunday is there. And it believes in every moment with something within you, something real, something essential, makes its presence known, and you know it's ready to rise and emerge. That's what we'll be exploring. Not the one time a year, Easter Sunday, but living a principle that is available to each of us in every moment that we live. Today is a final talk in that first of the year series. The title is Practicing Daily Resurrections, or actually Practicing Daily Transformations is just as good. Because transformation and resurrection are pretty much synonymous in the Easter story and in our story. We're going to talk about how we can rise up every day and raise our own consciousness from the restrictions that we put on it from our human selves, from our human nature. And those restrictions are basically the tomb we live in. The things we believe about ourselves that aren't true. The things that the ego tells us we are. The things that we have learned that we are not or can't be. And we transform every time we touch that Christ presence that was within us, and every time that we raise our consciousness from our human nature to our divine nature and live through the Christ consciousness. that's in every one of us. A couple of different ways I'd like to talk about this today. One is about gratitude as a spiritual discipline. Gratitude directly shapes the consciousness that we live with on a daily basis. We're going to talk about what it means to have enough and use Lynn Twist's book, The Soul of Money, as an outline for that. And we're going to touch on one of the deepest truths that I believe in, which comes from A Course in Miracles. And it's mentioned over and over again in the text, in lessons, in any conversation. And that is that we are as God created us, regardless of appearances, regardless of what happens to us, regardless of the noise, regardless of the habits. There is something in us that has never been and can never be diminished. And that is that Christ presence. So what does resurrection really mean? Well, if I start with Charles Fillmore, this is how he understands it. It's the lifting of consciousness from a lower to a higher expectation or expression. That's what resurrection is. Every time that we let a fear-based thought be replaced with a truth-based one, we are practicing resurrection and transformation. Every time we choose to see ourselves or others through the Christ rather than the eyes of the ego, we're rising to a higher level of Christ consciousness. And there's a similar thought to that in A Course in Miracles, and it's called the miracle. Now, a miracle is not a sleight of hand, it's not a card trick, it's not David Blaine levitating in the middle of the street. A miracle is any time we give up an illusion of our ego, such as the thought of separation, lack, or limitation, and replace it with the higher consciousness that acknowledges we are one with Spirit, one with everyone else, and one with everything on this planet. Fillmore was very clear that the power Jesus demonstrated was not unique to him. It was a demonstration of what is possible to everyone who lives from that consciousness. And it's available to us through our growth in spiritual understanding. We call Jesus our way shower. He showed us the way, but he was not the exception. Fillmore says there is no need of any state or condition called death. The word death is a denial of God's idea of life. Think about that for a second. It could be the death of the body. It could be the death of a relationship. The death of a different version of ourselves that is no longer applicable. In God's world, life is always pressing forward, as is the Christ that lives within each of us. Myrtle Fillmore points out that even in our darkest times, this is available. She writes that we are to remember that the light shines in the darkness, and that in the very midst of the darkness, man's mind opens to the light, and for him there is no more darkness. That light is within us always, and it's just up to us to make sure that we let it shine. Now, there's a lot of things that keep us in that tomb. And we've talked about a lot of them already. Social media, the media. All of these things try to keep us in the tomb of our small selves, and they pull our conscience downward whenever we get involved with them. When we give into that, we give our power away. We don't have the power to make discernments, to make decisions. We need to know what's going on so we can be engaged citizens, but we don't need to succumb to the compulsive consumption of outrage. That's what I was trying to get to. Think about it for a second. If you spend 30 minutes in the morning scrolling through your phone, looking at your feeds, watching Fox News or MSNBC, what state of consciousness are you left in? Do you feel more hopeful, more connected, more loving? Or are you like me, just angry as hell, anxious, more certain that the world is broken, and more certain that there is not enough? If I don't get mine, if I don't take it, I won't have it. Somebody else will. Social media and the news cycle are based on one common emotion, and that is the feeling of not enough. Not having enough, not being good enough. And the algorithms of not enough are there, that we need more information, but God, like 24 hours, 7 days a week is not enough. We need more of everything. And we deserve to be outraged. It rewards the dream of scarcity. And if we're not if we're not cautious, we can absorb all of that consciousness without even knowing it, because we have it all the time, all around us. And Unity has always taught us that consciousness is formative, and what we dwell on, we get more of. So if we're stuck on Facebook, if we're stuck on a website, if we're stuck on listening to the talking heads on all of the cable channels, what in the world are we going to have? More of the same. There is good news. And that good news is that we have the ability to choose what we watch, what we listen to, what we believe in, and where to put our power and ourselves. And it's more than just turning the channel. It's living more in that Christ presence that's within us. It's giving more to the divine and less based on the human nature. Now, we're all human. I mean, I'm not trying to say we're not going to do what we're going to do. But if we can make the shift to living in that divinity and in that divine nature just even a little bit more, you think that will ripple out? You think we'll have a chance to change not just ourselves, but maybe the people we live with, or not change them, but to appreciate them and show them through our actions what that means and what that has done for us, and hopefully will for other people. Lynn Twist wrote the book, The Soul of Money. Lynn Twist is a philanthropist, a fundraiser, an author who has spent decades working with people across 6 continents of varying degrees of wealth and poverty. The Soul of Money is about our relationship with money as a mirror of our relationship with life. She says there are 3 toxic myths of scarcity, and she believes each of these can cause enormous suffering. The first, there's not enough. The second, more is better. And the third, that's just the way it is. You can't change it. She talks about sufficiency, not about having a certain amount of something. It's the relationship we have with what we have and how we experience that. That scarcity is the belief that everything's running short. That if you have yours, I can't have mine. That we don't have enough, we are not enough. And she says sufficiency is the recognition of what we have exactly is what we need at the moment, and express gratitude for the wholeness that is already present. That's where gratitude comes in. She's worked with communities who were in deep, deep poverty, and she describes what they have as radiant sufficiency. It's a dignity and a joy that has nothing to do with accumulating things. It's a dignity and joy that comes from inside, from having what you need for the day, and of not worrying about where is the next one coming from, or I got to have more, or I'm not full. And she's talked about some of the wealthiest people in the world who live in a profound state of scarcity. They're anxious, always calculating, never have enough, always worrying, never at rest. So it's got nothing to do with what we have or what we accumulate, and everything to do with who and what we are. Just highlights the unity tradition that supply does not come from external circumstances. It comes from our one source and is inside us. We get to that decision through unity. Lynn Twist gets to the same decision, just takes a different path. Imagine for a moment what it would be like to begin each day with not a question of what you don't have, but with a moment of honest recognition that I have what I need for this day. That's all we have anyhow, is this day. When you do that, you're choosing to stand in the truth of sufficiency rather than the lie of scarcity. And that's transformation. That's a resurrection. That's rising daily from the consciousness of not enough into the consciousness of plenty, and that I will be provided with whatever it is that I need, and actually realizing that I already have it. I just have to be aware of it. Think about this for a second. Two people. One sees life one way and one sees life another way. The first says, I don't have the relationship I want. The second says, I'm grateful for all the love that is present in my life right now. The first says, I don't have enough money. I don't have the financial security I wish I had. The second person says, I'm grateful that I have enough for today. They're both telling the truth, but it's very easy to see that they're coming from entirely different levels of consciousness. That first orientation from Unity's standpoint is seeing things through the mind and the lens of appearance and conditions. The second is from the Christ consciousness within. But I'm grateful for today. Eric Butterworth looks at it this way. He talks about gratitude as not simply being a response to good fortune, it's a creative force. And then when we are genuinely grateful, we are aligning our consciousness with the good that is always flowing from the one source. And that's where gratitude and resurrection intersect most powerfully. To be grateful for what is, rather than anxious for what is not, is to start to roll away that stone on our tomb. To be released from the ego's perception of what we are, to what we are in ourselves. There are three areas that we can practice daily resurrection or daily transformation. And these are not foreign to us. They're through thoughts, words, and action. Every time we release that fear-based thought and replace it with one of truth, that's the work of denial and affirmation, the unity tools of daily rising. Denial is not pretending that something doesn't exist. It's just the refusal to give power to that appearance of lack. And then the affirmation is, this appearance is not the final truth. God's good is present and active in this world right now. When you hear yourself say, I can't do this, the resurrection thought is that through the Christ in me, all things are possible. When you think about scarcity and you're in that mode, the resurrection in thought is, I am created as God created me. And what God creates is sufficient, whole, and alive with purpose. It's another move to a higher form of consciousness. We know that the words we speak carry power. Our words, even in small moments, are acts of creation. What do we say? We create what we see, what we are through our words, actions. And when we're talking about complaint and catastrophe and bonding over what's terrible, that's what we're going to see more of. We can choose language that blesses rather than language that curses. We can choose to name what is good and true in the world rather than that we think is terrible. To say, I am grateful for this, I choose to see the good in the situation, I speak life over this, is a transformation and a resurrection. And the resurrection in action is our fifth principle, living what we talk about. And the best way to do that, I think, is through service to one another, to our community, to those who are less fortunate. It doesn't have to be grand. It can be as easy as saying thank you to a cashier. It can be as easy as saying thank you to the person who opens a door for you. It can be as easy as not yelling at someone in a retail store that's not able to get you what you need. The Course in Miracles has a path to the Christ within also. And it's really the foundation of most of what I've been talking about here this morning. And it's a truth that makes pretty much all things possible. And the Course names it again and again and again. And that is, I am not a body, I am free. For I am still as Christ, still as God created me. No matter what happens to us, we are still as we have been created, as a child of God, with nothing that our spirit needs to flourish. We have what we need now, and it's only removing clouds that tend to block those things, that we can experience them and live them now. In unity, that we're talking about the Christ presence. That's what this is. That what we were born with is still here, and that's something that will never, ever leave. This is what Eric Butterworth said. Things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that matter are the things that happen in you. What goes on in our hearts, what goes on in our souls, is what is really important. into the world. There's a few things that I came across that we can try every day to make sure that we're trying to rise to a higher level. Corinthians has this passage or verse. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. Think about this. What happens in the morning? You can have a morning resurrection intention every day. Before you pick up your phone, before you turn on the TV, I'll let you make a cup of coffee before this. Place a hand on your heart and say, today I choose to rise. I am grateful for what is. I have enough. I am as God created me. Set one intention, one thought, one word, one action that will be a conscious choice for you that day. That way we can be the ones who decide what our consciousness is, not turning that power over to the TV, the radio, a talking head, or a website. Throughout the day, do a gratitude reset. If you feel yourself spiraling into not enough, I'm not enough, it's not fair, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what is actually happening right now for good? There's got to be something good going on around you or in you. And what can I be authentically grateful for in this moment? You don't have to have false positivity. You're just shifting your lens, looking at it in a different way. The person that says thank you, rather than the person that says, why don't I have enough? In the evening, take a look at where did I rise? Where was I successful in rising to a higher level of consciousness today? And probably more importantly, where might I have fallen short? The first one is encouragement. The second one is a goal for the next day. Look at it not with self-judgment, but with gentleness, compassion, and an open heart. And when you do those things, consider sharing with other people. Don't we all love to hear about somebody's success? Hey, I overcame this, and this is how I did it. That's inspiring. That may get other people to do something similar to what you're doing and make their own lives better through that Christ presence within. And remember that the tomb is not a punishment. Our ego and small s selves are not something to be destroyed or hidden away. It's a starting point. We have to start from where we are and move on from that. Every morning is an invitation. Every conversation is an opportunity. And every act of forgiveness is a stone that has begun to roll away. And every moment of genuine gratitude is a transformation and a resurrection. And when the body or when the world tries to tell you that's not true, when the ego comes in and says, you got to be kidding me, you know better than that, or you can't do this or can't do that, you're not good enough. Come back to this one truth. I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. The Christ presence has not been diminished by anything that has ever happened to us. It's whole, it's present, and is always moving us forward. I have a closing prayer that I'd like to offer you today, and a passage from Scripture. It's from Romans 12th chapter. It is this: do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And this is the prayer. There is one life, one present, one power, God the good. It is expressed in and through each of us right now. We affirm this morning that the resurrection is not a memory, it is a present reality. We release every thought of lack or limitation. We release the consciousness that says there is not enough or not enough time or that we are not enough. We open ourselves to the truth that has always been that we are whole, we are supplied, we are loved, and we are free, as God created us to be. Amen. We can rise into the fullness of that truth each and every day of our lives. And the only thing we have to do is choose to do so. Thank you, and God bless you all.
It's at this time that we have that opportunity to participate in releasing our excess abundance. So as you hold whatever it is you might be offering today, each of us thankful for what we have, and also thankful for what we don't have. Sometimes that's even more of a blessing. We have a prosperity blessing that we can affirm together, as it is on the screen together. God is the constant, unconditional, and unconditional good in my life. And so it is.
Right here, right now, we all connected somehow, and even a whisper in the dark becomes a prayer that reaches out and touches your heart. The rising tide lifts us all, and every drop of water helps to keep the flow. When you make a ripple in the river of life, we will all be lifted, lifted by the rising tide. We all have dreams
think we're all glad that you're back, Ken. Well, before Ernie gets his wish, we have to stand and gather in a circle. That's a tough one.
Would you be sure and thank people for all the things that they
Oh,
brought
yeah.
in? Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, as you all know, we have prayer chaplains available for those who would like private listeners, consultation, support. Thanks again to everyone who has participated in today's service and the board for preparing a wonderful lunch. And also, as we look at the table up here, we see quite a bit of giving that came from each and every one of you. And Kathy Baker is going to load that up. Hopefully, where are you, Kathy? Do not strain your back when you lift all these items. So let's give thought now to people within our community who will benefit by our thoughtfulness and care and caring. And perhaps within the community, you may know of someone who could use not only your loving thoughts and prayers, but the united thoughts and prayers of those of us gathered here today. And perhaps it goes around the world where others are suffering with turmoil, with the question of, will there be a tomorrow? So any situation, any person you would like to perhaps say to yourself, feel free to put them in this circle of love. And let us consecrate all of this with our prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us